That's right. It is a Friday edition of Orange and Blue Today. Andrew Mason on assignment, and you see the thumbnail. You know I got the man, CHJ, Chris Harris Jr. joining the show. Chris, man, always appreciated you as a baller. Appreciate you jumping on the show here today.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me. You and Mace always, always looked out after my career and always was great. It's crazy how you build relationships with guys over the media because y'all cover us for so long, So that's a good thing about the sports.
Right. It's a good thing about football is that you can find talent anywhere. Let's talk about your story coming out undrafted Kansas. And
Yeah.
I know, Mike Mayock didn't have any idea who you were, but as soon as you showed up to Denver, Champ Bailey, all I did was one, watch you in college and knew that you could play. I knew you were a value pick. But then two, when Champ Bailey, your first training camp, Champ was going on and on about this young cat, Chris Harris Jr., man. And that's why I always say your first round picks can come from the seventh round, come from the undrafted, and first rounders tend to get over glorified.
Yeah.
Ballers can ball, and you're a baller.
Yeah, Broncos always had a great scouting department in that, right? Being able to find undrafted, being able to find those steals, to be able to perform fast, and they got to continue to do that, right? They got, especially in this draft, I think it's going to be a lot of late round steals, a lot of guys that are going under the radar that can ball, right? Especially with the COVID and the NIL and everybody's transferring. There's more older guys really than what you usually see coming out. So I think it's going to be a definitely talent pool. And that's what you got to do, man. You got to find those steals to be able to because everybody else is doing it. Right. Everybody else is going to find one or two. Right. So you got to be able to keep up with everybody else in the league and the scouting department. You got to find a couple good steals. For one that helps you with your cap. Also, it's just, you need impact players from positions that you don't expect. Right. You need that.
Right. You need that. You need to find the guys like Chris Harris Jr. And I look back on just your collection of what you did in your career and how that helped the Broncos. It's what I always call Russian cover, right? Like it takes both. And I look to them now and I go, you got Pat Surtain. You need some more help out there besides just Pat Surtain. They got some young guys who I like, but maybe some unproven guys, and those guys have to kind of get up to speed to play up to the level of Pat Surtain.
Yeah, we always had high level competition at the cornerback position here. Right. From my first year all the way until, I was done. It was always, I would say probably like my last 2 years, the depth kind of started to drop probably once with Roby and Talib and them guys left. It definitely dropped. But before then, it was always loaded. My rookie year, Cassius Vaughn, Tony Carter, Paris Cox, Champ, it was Goody. It was tons of guys. And then you go to the next year, Drayton Florence, Tracy Porter, me, Champ. That's 4 right there, right? Tony, you had 5. We always had at least 4 or 5 solid guys, right? That if they went in, you could expect those guys to do the job. And that's what they need. Like even when me and Talib are great, right? We still had competition, right, to push us along, right? And that's going to be good for Pat. Pat still needs that competition in the building, right, to keep him going and keep him on that next level. So Broncos definitely need some depth. I wouldn't be surprised if they did draft a guy first round at corner, or if they pushed back and probably traded back and probably got one in the second round. But they definitely need some. We definitely need some help in the secondary for sure.
Yeah, some help in the secondary, and then continuing with that kind of eye for talent and finding that hidden talent. One thing I've always said, Chris, is like you need more players in your talent evaluator roles because ballers know ball. And whenever I talk to you about players, and we don't have to name names, both good and bad, like, hey, can this guy play? And you'd be like, nah. Or you'd be like, watch out for this guy, right? Go back to the Champ story. Champ told me about you, right? And like that just alert, like ballers know ballers. And I think NFL teams would be best suited if they had more former players in their scouting departments.
Yeah, definitely. It's just, it's kind of shaky with the business side, with the organizations and how they run. They kind of stick to their guns, and it's more, who that's how they get up in there, and they've been doing it a long time. So I think I would thrive in a role like that, or as a GM, or learning, to be able to become a GM. I think that would be great, to be able to get that experience, right? And I think I could flourish in that role. That's probably some of the reason why you don't see a lot of ex guys going to that transfer. They usually go into coaching more or do the analyst more. But I would rather do GM or learning under the scouting department and working my way up to be a GM over being a coach. I think that would just be better for my lifestyle right now with my kids, everything. So I would definitely love to do that. Be a talent evaluator. That's something I would love to do for sure.
Yeah, at least a consultant. And I've always said, in talking to former coaching interns, that you and I both know, there's a lot of coaching in the coaching world where they're like, it's kind of tight knit, and they're like, oh, we don't know if the players can work as hard. You players worked your ass off to get there. It's always perplexed me how the old boy network of the coaching world, it's like, no, let some more players into coaching, let some more players into scouting. You guys run this league, this league, what it takes to make it in this league.
Yeah, you see that all through college, and then you see it in the NFL, right? And the same thing with the organizations in the building, right? So, or teams, franchises. So it's something that we kind of got to break through. I see guys we're breaking through in the media aspect of it, right? Giving another point of view of it. We see how good Shay Sharp and them are doing. So we're doing the media stuff, right? But I would say there's still need for more coaches, more people in the front offices. That's something that we still need a breakthrough on that for sure.
Yeah, definitely need a breakthrough on that. And you mentioned all the players coming through, and I think we need more of that. People wonder, why is the Manning cast so good? Because it's players talking about ball. Why is Aqib so good on the air? Why is Marshawn Lynch so good on the air? Because they're just going to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you exactly what's happening. They're going to tell it in a fun way. And I told you off air, you've always made football fun. And I think when people watch football, they want to learn, and players can obviously teach them, and they want to have fun. And you guys have a bunch of fun talking about the game.
Yeah, and being able to break down simple things for the kids and for the people, right? They're your average Joe, so-called your average Joe. Right. You got to be able to do that. And there's a talent and to being able to break down film, break down what the offense is trying to do. Oh, this is pass interference. Why is this pass interference? And what can I do to make this? What can I do to be able to teach the audience? Also be able to teach the player, right? When he comes back and watch it, this is what I should do to not be able to get this pass interference. So I think we do have a different point of view. Also, being in the locker room, right? Being able to say, okay, I played this guy. When I played this guy, Mahomes, I knew that in the fourth quarter that he's going to run the ball, right? When it's time, when he has to make a play, he might not run all game, but fourth quarter, he's going to make some plays with his legs. Different things like that, giving them insight like that. And that's what I want to do, being able to bring insight, be able to teach the game, break it down from a totally different standpoint, because I want to break it down from an offensive view. Why would you want to attack? Why is the offense wanting to attack the defense in this formation and this scheme? What are they looking for? And being able to flip it and breaking down defensive wise, which I would say my expertise is, right, and give you a view from that standpoint. So it's definitely fun, and I'm excited. Definitely from going to the boot camp and being able to show my talent in that, right, and being able to see if I really like doing it, and I did. So I'm excited about the next phases of my life on that, and it's fun, man. The media is fun, man. I see why y'all do it. I see why y'all like coming to the games and interviewing us, man. It's fun for sure.
Right. Talking about this great game and then breaking it down, and no introduction. It's Chris Harris Jr. My God, Orange and Blue today. What a monumental Friday show. The draft is super exciting. You mentioned corner. The Broncos could take in the first round. And, some people are saying quarterback. It has to be quarterback no matter what, even if it includes trading away Pat Surtain. So two-parter, Chris, and I should never do a two-parter, but I'm going to do two-parter. Does it have to be quarterback? And then trading Surtain. I know they don't want to trade Surtain to get up to 3 or whatever and get whatever quarterback. And it's not going to be Jaden Daniels for anyone out there. Jaden Daniels is going to go number 2. He's my number 1 quarterback in this class. But the quarterback conversation, where do you stand knowing these Broncos, knowing what they need? Is it do whatever you can to get the QB or get the right guy?
I think they need to get the right guy that they believe in, right? Because when you have that young quarterback, you got to give him every opportunity to succeed in this league, right? So you want it to be the best fit, a guy that you know it has a great chance to even succeed in your system, right? And the Broncos are not doing a very good job of giving any hints of who they like, right? So you've seen Penix, or I haven't seen Penix at all, really. I've seen just mainly Bo Nix or McCarthy. Really are the two main guys that I've seen floating. So it's going to be interesting to see what route they go in. If I'm them, I would definitely look at Penix and Nix, right? Because you don't know the depth of the quarterbacks coming in next year. I don't think it's going to be at this high level as it is this year. So I wouldn't be mad if they took Nix or Penix or drafted their best available in the first round and mess around and got a rattler third round, So I wouldn't be mad in that aspect either. It's a lot of guys. It's hard to pass up one of these blue chippers guys, right, at the skill positions, even at the O-line, right, for these quarterbacks that you might think might be average, right, might be not a Pro Bowl guy, right? So when you got these blue chippers that, man, these guys look like they can play 10, 15 years, right, and be Pro Bowl. So it's this draft is very tough.
Yeah, it's an incredibly tough decision for the Broncos. And what do you do? Penix going to absolutely sling it. I've said multiple times he might be the best pure passer in this class. Is ugly because it's left-handed, but still, when it leaves his hand, he knows exactly where to put it. It gets there in a hurry. And that's just me studying quarterbacks. I want to go into your mind of studying quarterbacks. And I go back to the play on 4th down against Tom Brady. I remember chopping it up with Mark Schlereth on the air about this play. You broke from what the play read because you knew their tendencies. You broke up the play on Amendola. I mean, I'm getting chills talking about it, brother, because it was just like, you should have not done that, but you knew that's what they were going to do from film study. So your battles, you guys' battles against Tom Brady, I mean, my God, they are epic proportions. So when you look at quarterbacks, I look at quarterbacks and, well, Lord knows, if I knew the key, I would be a zillionaire. Nobody really knows the key, but you played against these guys. You played against the Mahomes. You played against the Bradys. Your teammates with Peyton Manning. What are you looking for in quarterback that stands out, that when you don't like facing this guy, you get amped up for it because you never back down from anybody. But what traits are you looking for in quarterback?
I'm looking for that swag, man. Do they carry that swag, that confidence, right, that can energize a whole team, right? That's the difference. You're not looking for a guy to just be a guy in there, right? We need somebody that can energize the whole facility, the guy that's up there doing the payroll, right? Everybody in the building feels excited because we got this quarterback, right? We know we can win with him, right? And that's what I believe is a top 5 guy, top 10. Those are worthy of those picks. And Penix has showed that he could be the guy, right? McCarthy showed they didn't have to rely on him a lot, but he still made big plays in big games, right? Caleb Williams, I think he's shown that he could be the guy. Jaden Daniels, he played in the SEC and won the Heisman. So you got a lot of options right there of guys that are shown that they can carry the load. So I think this draft is special, especially at the quarterback. Everybody's going to be trying to move up, whether it's the Vikings, it might be even the Giants might try to move up, right? You never know. The Raiders, because the Raiders want Jaden Daniels. Yes. Right. They want him. So if they can find a way to get to number 2, that'll make that'll be a home run for them. So it's going to be an interesting draft. A surprise pick that I would like. I want Brock Bowers. Right. If we can't get a skilled quarterback, if we can't get one of our guys that they like, I want a tight end weapon, kind of like how we've been getting killed for the past 10 years by Kelsey. Right, give us a Bowers that can play all over the field, right? Sean Payton loves to use a fullback, right? He can play fullback also, right? Instant impact. We don't know what's going to happen with Courtland, right? But so we got a red zone threat right here. So, I mean, that would be my pick, if we can't get the quarterback. I want an offensive weapon.
Okay. Yeah. And Chris, I got to ask you, and this will be my final one for you. I just appreciate your time. How did tight end change things? We can say it
Yeah,
was Gates. We can say it was Kelsey. We can give credit wherever credit's due. But like tight end is so different. You were on the field when those guys became weapons. I remember seeing Julius Thomas down at the Shrine game in 2011, and he's a basketball guy, right? And nobody
yeah,
knows anything about him. And I was like, that guy's a weapon. I don't know what you do with him, but he can make plays. And then he ended up did when he was healthy for y'all with Peyton Manning there. But how did tight end change the way that you guys play defense? Because
yeah,
they're not blockers anymore. They're receiving weapons.
yeah. Oh, of course, man. When you see Gates and Gonzalez, all those guys, Shannon Sharp, right? The way they were using them, right? I think it was Tom Brady. Brady being able to just when they had Hernandez and Gronk, right? And he implemented like, okay, we're gonna play 12 personnel, but we're gonna make it look like 11. Or
Mm-hmm.
play 10, everybody spread, but we got all big guys in, right? That's when they really started to get out of hand, right? Brady. And you see it, right, with that combination of having a stud tight end, a stud running back receiver, right, in a stud slot, kind of like the Lions, right? St. Brown, Laporta, and then being able to have Gibbs, right? And that's kind of the way it's going, right? You need to have weapons inside the hashes that these quarterbacks are great with, of being able to play inside the hashes. Not a lot of guys can make it happen on the outside. Not everybody has arms like Mahomes and Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? Some guys got to pick and part, dink and dunk up the middle, right? So it just depends on how you build your team. And I would like with these quarterbacks, definitely, let's start on the inside out. Let's get a receiver type running back. We already have one, right? Let's get a stud tight end. We can work Mims in the slot, and use them on the outside. So I think we got some good, nice pieces to work with, right? And for the future that you can build on and build an offense around. So that's kind of Tom Brady. I blame it on Brady.
Okay, I like it. Blame it on Brady. Do you believe in Sean Payton? Do you believe he can get it
Yeah, I
done?
do, man. Yeah, I think with the improvements that we had this year, oh man, he definitely had the right calls, right? We didn't take advantage of them. A lot of them had guys running wide open. We just missed them a couple times, Of course, with Coach Joseph, implement his defense, getting these guys right and into his system. It started out slow, but they had a great stretch, that a historic stretch that a lot of teams don't have, turnover battle worthy. So I think that was worthy for him to come back. So I do trust them. I think they should improve this year. Actually, it's going to be hard for them to improve this year. I think if they get 5 or 6 wins, that will be a solid year for these guys.
Yeah, continue to build and then grow for the future. He
Yeah.
is Chris Harris Jr. You mentioned Club Shay Shay. We need a Club CHJ, right? Let's start
I know,
Let's
man.
start the podcast.
We
Get
need
Cat
one,
Williams
man.
on.
I
We'll break
wanted
the
to
internet.
pitch. I got some pitches, man, that I wanted, man. So I'm gonna hold those because I got some good ideas for some TV, man. Hopefully, just to add different views, different perspectives, right to the game. Because they got the quarterbacks all doing things, man. Let's get the defensive players involved.
Exactly. Let's get the guys that go up against those quarterbacks and know where their weaknesses are. He is Chris Harris Jr., one of the best. I always laugh when people say Ring of Fame, brother. I think you're Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame in my book. You put up those numbers. I want to see you get a gold jacket, and I celebrate your entire playing career. Certainly appreciate your time, appreciate your friendship, and thank you very much for joining the show, man.
Oh, yeah, no problem, man. Shout out Broncos country.
There he is, Chris Harris Jr. I'm Cecil Lammey saying have a great weekend, everybody. Stay tuned and stay frosty.